So this week, this is chapter 7, vlog number 7 for strategic management. Um, and this week, I learned a lot about international business. Um, I already took an international business class, so I already know a little bit. But going, taking your business to the next level globally or internationally. Um, it can definitely be very good, very profitable, um, but it's also pretty challenging to try to keep up with everything because the rules and regulations are obviously a lot different in other countries. Um, but for instance, you buy into a franchise like McDonald's and you put a McDonald's in, let's just say Thailand or something, where there's not one already there, it's going to do really well. Um, Putting one somewhere where there's not any competition, especially in countries, that have never had anything like that, can be extremely profitable. Um, there's a lot more, um, there's a lot more of this going on now than it used to be because it is easier now getting into it. Because there's so much importing and exporting of goods. Um, because it's it's cheaper to it's cheaper to export and it's cheaper to import sometimes on your materials from other countries. So that can be a very, very good thing. Um, and there's the demand conditions. You just got to look at, okay, is the demand higher, here versus in the U.S. Um, depending on what you're getting into. For instance, like with our chicken house building business, it's very good here, but it would not be very good in like Russia because there's not any in those countries because it's too cold. So that would not be something good to go international with. But for instance, like clothing manufacturers, it's good for them because they can get their raw materials cheaper over there, and the labor is cheaper there. And then it's way cheaper to export. Um, so it can be international taking your business internationally, depending on what it is, what the demand for that product is, it can be very, very good. And like I said, there's a lot more of that going on now. I think the internet has a whole lot to do with it because you can buy from anywhere now. Um, I mean, you might have to pay shipping costs, but if there's a product out there and especially China, that's the big one. Um, the majority of stuff, I would say, the majority of stuff that we buy, all says made in China because it's so much cheaper to have the products made over there and then have them shipped here. Um, if we made all that stuff in the U.S., it would cost the consumer a lot more money. Um, Now, it would better our economy, I would say, a little bit if everything was done here. But then again, it would cost a lot more and people would not buy it like they do now. Um, so, globalization, like I said, it can be very, very good and it is getting more and more popular, um, especially for the big corporations like car manufacturers and clothing manufacturers, and those are just a couple of examples. but it's getting to be really, really big, and there's a reason for it, because it typically saves money, which if the company's saving money, then the consumer's saving money because you're not having to pay as much because there's not as much overhead and cost in the product for the owner of the company. So that's just a couple of little summary, I guess, of what I've learned. And that's all I got. So thanks.